Got about a minute. Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Alex, hey, I'm just calling to confirm the earlier reports that you had about how we're dispatched to a call where there's possible Ebola, that they do not want to say Ebola over the air. And they will say for our agency quotes, they have positive answers to additional screening questions, which our dispatchers ask to the patient.
They have positive answers. What do they say exactly again?
Yeah, our dispatcher will ask the person, do you have a fever greater than 100.4 Fahrenheit? Do you have severe headache, unexplained bleeding? If they answer yes to those questions, and they ask if they've been to West Africa, Guinea, Liberia, and if they've had contact with somebody.
We have Harry Dent coming on, but we'll keep him into the next hour. Stay there, sir. Corey, Officer Corey, don't hang up. I want to come back and let you finish up for a minute or so. This is key information, confirming what the New York Post reported. I'm Alex Jones. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Aging starts at the cellular level. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries. During that period, key patented compounds have focused on mitochondrial growth, nerve growth, and rejuvenation. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. We now have the synergistic solution, DNA Force, just one of the key compounds. BioPQQ is backed by major clinical studies and over 175 PubMed-listed published studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of superoxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy Powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy Powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad-tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy Powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy Powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime Directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun. You can feel it.
We want your soul. We want your soul. We want your soul.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
Your habits, your facts.
If you just joined us, normally I would cancel all the guests on a day with something this important happening, but I didn't cancel Harry Dent because he's been making a lot of accurate predictions on the economy and what would start happening to the stock market. He was on with us just a few months ago and predicted that it would start going down, and he predicted some other things that are starting to unfold. So I wanted to get him on. We moved him up 30 minutes or back 30 minutes because obviously I've talked to a major medical doctor who I know personally, who manages a very large hospital and a group of hospitals, who said they're definitely disappearing people that are bleeding out, we believe, with Ebola, and the feds are coming and taking them away. We then interviewed last week confirming this, Agent Zach Taylor, former deputy head of the Border Patrol, now the head of their union, and he said this has been going on for months on the southern border. So very, very suspicious. Then Dr. James Larazzini at Cass Regional Medical Center in Garden City, Missouri contacted us. We contacted him back, called him, got him on at the hospital, had him on via his cell phone after that last hour, naming the medical centers, naming where people are bleeding out, and then they're just disappeared by the feds. Nothing is signed out. It's incredible. And they're basically threatening people not to talk about it. We've had police officers call in and confirm it. It's been in the New York Post, you name it, that they're telling firefighters and police, don't use on the dispatch the word Ebola. And then we have a police officer, Corey in Wisconsin, who got cut off by the break. Spend a minute, sir, just recap. You're an EMT/police officer, what you're being told, what they're saying, what the codes are, and what their reasons are for that. Please, sir.
Yeah, Alex, we got a memo about a week ago stating that if we are dispatched to somebody who has a fever, the dispatcher will ask questions, specifically if they've been to Africa or West Africa, if they have a fever over 104, things like that. If those questions are answered yes, we will then be dispatched along with the ALS, which is Advanced Life Support Unit, along with the battalion. We have positive answers to additional screening questions, which is code for possible Ebola. At that point, our police department has said that we will not enter the scene, and the fire department itself has told us that they may not even enter the scene as well. As far as what happens after that, I'm not sure, but we do have instructions to call the health department, and I'm sure they would be in contact with the CDC then.
What about the ethical issues of vans pulling up and disappearing people? They should just be honest, and they should be quarantined in military facilities that are designed for this. That's why we paid for them and built them. Why cover up that the disappearances are going on? We've now confirmed this in triplicate with doctors and Border Patrol people by name. This is now confirmed because my concern is it sets up the infrastructure to expand this to political people and other things. If you can get government to cover up disappearing medical people for medical issues, then you can do anything, in my view.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. And as far as equipping us, the police department, we have no equipment. The fire department has no specific equipment that would be effective against Ebola. So.
Well, it's getting out of hand, and there's clearly a cover-up. I just pray it's not as bad as it looks. So what does your gut tell you is going on?
Well, I think it's tied to illegal immigration as well. I have the chance to interact with illegal immigrants all the time. I work in a small village, and I still encounter them all the time. And I think with the borders being open as they are, they don't want it to get out that it probably is more widespread than it is, because it can be tied to illegal immigration, just like the virus that the school kids are getting, and it's tied to Latin American countries as well.
Yep, that's it. Total political correctness, and then they get to implode the country and make billions off the vaccines. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the information. Okay, we're going to go to our guest here for 30 minutes in the next hour. Then I will continue with your calls. And we have a reporter joining us from Ottawa, Dan Dix of his organization up there, Press for Truth, is going to be joining us as well at the bottom of the next hour. Briefly, what I'm personally doing to boost my immune system is Survival Shield X2. Nascent iodine that I believe from the research we've done is just as important as colloidal silver and other things. Also, super male vitality, super female vitality, lung cleanse. 70% of the immune system is in the gut. The Oxy powder, DNA Force does stuff above and beyond vitamin C. And with the Bio-PQQ and the CoQ10, organic sources of that, it is a nutraceutical of the highest quality. It's all available at InfoWarsLife.com. And I've been saying for 6 months, boost your immune system going into this winter, because I lost 3 family members this last year into this year. December, January were hellish times. And I have a lot of family in the medical field. They just say it's unbelievable what the MRSA and stuff's doing. So bottom line, I would try to abuse as much as you can, boost your immune system, boost your body's natural defenses. That's what I'm personally doing. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And you don't just get the highest quality supplements out there. You support the tip of the spear in the information war. So 888-253-3139. And we've got Phil in Florida, who's a physician. We'll get to you if you have to go. We can get your number and call you back when Mr. Dent leaves us. We've got Jeff in Indiana, firefighter. Tracy. We've got Ben, who's an environmental health worker. We need to hear from you, so stay there if you can. But our guest has got important info on the economy. What would Ebola affect the economy like as well? And we're joined by Harry Dent, author of The Demographic Cliff, and editor of the free newsletter Economy and Markets. He's the founder of Dent Research and was formerly a top analyst at Bain Capital and ran a lot of major operations there. He's had a bunch of best-selling books. His first big bestseller was The Great Boom Ahead, published in '92, which folks thought was crazy. He accurately forecasted the unanticipated boom of the '90s and the continued expansion in 2007. Then he predicted the 2008 collapse. And harrydent.com is his website. If you go to harrydent.com/Alex Jones, he did something nice, publishing some of his book that's been unpublished online just for our listeners. harrydent.com/Alex Jones. He always sends us great graphs and documents to put on screen for TV viewers. So I'd encourage radio listeners to go to Infowars.com/show to actually watch the feed. Or later, you can always go to prisonplanet.tv as a subscriber and see the TV version simulcast of this transmission. Sorry to get you on late here today. We have medical doctors confirming to us that they're covering up what they believe to be Ebola and whisking him away. How would, in your view as an economist and an analyst, how would this affect things if they do cover up Ebola and there's even a moderate epidemic, a few thousand people that get it? I mean, looks to me like that would cause some major shockwaves in the economy.
Well, you know, this recent mini crash, 10% down in the markets, was a combination of the Ebola news and Germany's economic minister standing up to Mario Draghi and at the ECB in Europe and saying no more QE. You know, this is crazy. So the markets are not going to like this. I think they care more about no more QE in Germany, but if Ebola gets to any significant size, everybody knows this is exponential if it happens, and we've seen epidemics like this before. There was a great one in the early 20s during a downturn. So, you know, at some point it could have a big impact, and particularly if it's not known or covered up, and then suddenly it's found out. So I mean, I'm definitely not an expert on that, but we do see it. We just had a conference in Miami and had a speaker from the Elliott Wave organization that said their studies show that when stock markets peak and go down, as we're seeing like in the early 30s or the mid 70s or now, you usually do get things like epidemics, and you get things, you know, weird weather like the Dust Bowl of the 1930s. So these things tend to happen together in cycles.
That's right. You said this 6 months ago. You said epidemics and weird weather, and people are like, well, how is that? Explain it. It's sun cycles. Well,
that's part of it too. About every 10 years, our solar radiation peaks and then goes down for 5 to 6 years. And in those down cycles, you're more likely to see any type of thing from worsening weather, less rainfall, less sunshine, possibly epidemics, and all 88, I went back 190 years, 88% of substantial financial crises, crashes, occur and major recessions occurred in this down solar spot cycle. So this is a very tangible cycle that does have a tangible effect on the economy. We've just seen the most extended sunspot cycle in history, at least back to the 1700s, the last one. And now this cycle points down from 2014 into late 2019, early 2020. So this is saying we're going to have a financial crisis. If we're going to have anything major go wrong in the world, it's going to happen in the next 5 years.
You've got an article up on your site right now, harrydent.com/Alex Jones. It says Dow 6,000, are you prepared? Again, you were on with us about 6 months ago and predicted the stock market would start going down. It has done that. What is your latest analysis?